On this episode of Firehouse USA Boston, Mike Cates and Engine 37 fight a poisonous chemical fire.
Smoke was pouring out of every corner of the building. You just hope everything goes well, no one gets hurt.
New transfer Kevin Miner tries to prove himself to the Huntington Avenue veterans.
Being the new guy here is, it's obviously going to be difficult. I got a lot to learn.
Boston battles New York for a good cause. And an apartment blaze leaves residents homeless and devastated.
I lost everything.
Huntington Avenue firefighters are jolted awake by an emergency call. A commercial building is on fire.
They're seeing smoke coming out of the building. We're heading over there now.
The firefighters are informed that there are toxic chemicals and radioactive material inside the building.
So we all got our masks and oxygen out and prepared to enter an extremely dangerous environment.
"17 companies respond to the fire. They immediately search for the source of the flames.
Smoke was pouring out of every corner of the building. The guys went up to investigate. As soon as they got up, they saw the sprinklers going off, they saw the fire, they saw the lab. They have these hazardous labels that are on the doors at the entry point, and all of them had the highest ratings across the board. So you just hope everything goes well, no one gets hurt.
Well, primary concern is inhalation injury. It's a toxic, very hazardous smoke. You don't want to breathe it in at all. You want to make sure you have your mask on, you have a good seal, and God only knows what's in there.
The fire is on the top floor. The engine companies approach from below. But it is too hot to get close enough. The ladder companies will have to ventilate the building to reduce the heat so the engine companies can get water on the fire. First, they use the ladder as a battering ram. Next, they attack from the roof. Ladder 26 is right above the fire, punching holes to release heat and smoke. Working just above the flames puts the truckies in a precarious position, where a number of firefighters have lost their lives.
The fire went above the ceiling tiles in the plume area, it's called, and the deputy had us open up the roof. It was a tough roof to open.
With the roof ventilated, the heat is less punishing, and the engine companies can start to move in.
As they were cutting open the roof, it was just roaring through. And we were underneath, just blasting away with the water. 26 took a beating.
After 4 hours of battling the toxic flames, the fire is put out. But the threat is not over. The firefighters and their equipment are thoroughly decontaminated at the scene.
At the end of the fire, anyone that was, in that building, we all just went through what's called a decon. Each member was deconned, and you passed through a radiation monitor.
anything on the external side. You go through the showers, and if there's any particles or dust or whatever, they have to wash it off. So you and all you get, you got to go walking through, and they get the showers, they've got the hoses, they hose you down.
Working a chemical fire is one of the greatest fears of firefighters. The effects from being exposed to radioactive fumes can go undiscovered for years and ultimately be fatal.
Yeah, I don't like any type of fire, but any type of fire that's gonna have a chemical hazards to your respiratory system is, you gotta be crazy if you wanna go into those fires. Because you don't know if it's gonna come back to haunt you in 15 years.
Checking the masks to make sure they're functioning properly. This one here has developed an air leak.
Yeah, don't touch none of that stuff, Joe. They're coming. They want everybody's gear that fought that fire on the main floor.
Now they come.
Although all personnel and equipment were decontaminated at the scene, as an added safety precaution, the Boston Fire Department sends for the Special Operations Unit for additional testing.
Safety chief came down, went over the gear with a Geiger counter, and he didn't find any high readings on ours, but they still want to wash it in case there's other chemical contaminants in it. We bag those, they'll send those out and get that all squared away.
Chief, are you going to be taking their helmets too and everything?
We're okay with special ops taking our gear, but we really don't want them taking our helmets.
I'm just gonna put the face pieces with them so I know.
It's like the Marines with their rifles, you know. This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. They're like fingerprints, yeah. They're all completely different. Mine's a 1971 Conn's helmet. It's like a fine wine. 71 was a good year for leather.
The Special Operations Unit sent some of the gear out for further decontamination. How much the firefighters were exposed is still a cause for concern.
Yeah, the guys that worked the fire this morning may have been exposed to some hazardous materials. So they'll have to come in tomorrow and have a urine test. I mean, worst case scenario is death. But short of that, I mean, radiation sickness, it's nasty. And the effects of radiation might not show up for years when guys start getting cancer. So it's definitely something to be concerned about.